been out for, I guess, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
We have not been to the pool yet and have not eaten ice yet?
No.
We just decided, let's just figure out what happens next.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo! I know that you knows what happened. That you know what happens, but...
I don't know. I knows.
You knows. So let's figure it out.
The room goes quiet. They both look over at the screen, which is now completely black. The silence is equally eerie as it is relieving. Crowley knows that a certain weight has just been lifted from his shoulders. His eyes flicker over to Aziraphale, who's still looking confusedly at the screen.
I think it's about time we see what's in the box.
Crowley, not so subtly, gets them back on track. The angel looks at him, opens his mouth, but then closes it, taking his hand off Crowley's arm. The demon reaches for the safe. He pulls it open and frowns. That's the holy water, Aziraphale says. They are both looking at the tartan thermos that the angel had gifted Crowley all these years ago in 1967.
What is a tartan thermos?
Tartan is the pattern on Aziraphale's clothes.
Mm-hmm.
The pattern that is kariert.
Okay, and he gifted Crowley something.
The tartan... So the thermos that the holy water is the vessel for the holy water has
Aziraphale's pattern on it. So
yes.
It's from Aziraphale.
Yes. I don't see what's not clicking here.
But Aziraphale didn't give Crowley holy water.
Yes, he did in 1967.
But he was against it.
Yes, but he gave it to him anyway in 1967.
Oh, okay.
And then in season 1, in the present day of season 1, Crowley used the holy water to kill another demon.
Ah, okay.
He put it in a bottle and melted a demon in season 1. We need to rewatch season 1.
Yeah, I guess I have to rewatch some things here. Yeah. Because I was all the time there had like this argument about the holy water kind of. It was like, I don't give it to you. I don't want you to kill yourself. And Crowley's just like, trust me, I will not kill myself.
Yeah, but this was in the 1800s. Now we're in 1967.
I remember this date.
Yeah. It stands lonely in the middle of the safe as if it hasn't been touched ever since Crowley first put it in there.
Can't be. I used it all to get rid of Liger.
He mutters, eyeing the thermos suspiciously. I think we've already established that wherever we are, it's not really what it looks like, Aziraphale points out. Thought it'd probably be for the best if you keep away from that thermos for your own safety. Crowley, well aware there's no point arguing with the angel over that. Not to mention he'd rather stay away from the holy water if he can't help it.
All yours then, kind sir.
With that, he waves his arm, making an exaggerated but polite gesture towards the thermos and then steps away. Aziraphale reaches into the safe and gingerly pulls the thermos out. Once it's in his hands, he glances up to see if Crowley is still a safe distance away from him. The demon does stand a few steps away, arms crossed on top of his chest, and an eyebrow raised in a silent question. Aziraphale moves his attention back to the thermos. He twists the cap slowly and peeks inside. This is it. Oh, this is it, he says slowly. Holy water.
You sure?
Quite definitely, yes. Crowley clicks his tongue. A couple ideas run through his head.
Could try it on the plants. Holy water is still water, is it? You say that this is holy water, but none of this is actually real, right? So maybe we can, I don't know, pour it on me? We can splash it on the door. I mean, I've been living here for a while. Maybe my demonic essence has rubbed up on it. Okay. I don't know about any of these choices, actually. I like the second one here, where he's just like, yeah, pour it on me. Come on, yeah. What did you try?
I think I tried the door.
You tried the door? Okay. I would like to see what Aziraphale says if I'm like, yeah, pour it on me. Then like, yeah, I will not say what I wanted to say.
Like we said earlier, we can't fuck it up, so let's
fuck
some shit up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do it!
Crowley, are you insane? Aziraphale immediately squeals, twisting the cap back on as quickly as he possibly can and hugging the thermos to his chest. Just in case the demon would decide to try and wrestle it out of his grasp.
Give it to me! Maybe I am! But come on, it could work, no?
We are not risking your life for this, Crowley. You very well know what could happen to you. Crowley tips his head back and groans, taking another step back to lean against the desk.
Come on, Angel. We have to get out of here somehow.
Well, then think of something else. We are not pouring it on you. I'm not letting you. That's it.
Fine.
Crowley snarls. It's time to think of something else.
Ah, so you splashed it on the door. So I would like to try it on the plants then. Poor plants, they need water.
Huh. Aziraphale hums, looking at the plants. Usually they'd be bright green and tall and beautiful, as Crowley took quite good care of them, even with all the screaming.
Screaming at the plants, I like it.
Now, though, all of them look as if they had been abandoned for years. That would make sense, wouldn't it? To get out, we have to make things bloom, fix things.
Fix things?
Crowley repeats gloomily. It does appear to be what we are doing, does it not? Aziraphale says softly. Perhaps it was not so clear back in the bookshop, but here? Crowley drops his gaze to the ground. Aziraphale is most likely right, but Crowley fears what fixing things entails in the long run. It shouldn't sound so bad, but whatever the reason, it fills him with dread. Maybe it's how emotionally charged the statement seems to be in the current situation that gets him. Maybe it's the thought that something has to be broken first in order to be repaired.
Well then, just try it, would you?
Crowley cuts the angel off before he has a chance to continue. He quickly realizes that he sounded far too harsh than he should have and speaks again.
I would rather think about fixing things when we're not stuck in some strange limbo.
So we're trying it.
Yeah.
Aziraphale approaches one of the potted plants. He looks it up and down before deciding to crouch down and pour some of the water right into the soil. It's instantaneous, the way the plant flourishes back to life. All the leaves turn green and stand up proudly. Flowers bloom, and Aziraphale is fairly sure most of these plants aren't supposed to have flowers, yet here they are. Blue and yellow flowers all around them. Crowley pushes himself off the desk, spins around to watch as his flat suddenly fills with color and life. So much life. There's a click, a swoosh, and then the door swings open.
Aha!
Crowley cries out triumphantly.
Wait a moment. Oh, okay.
Mindy's being very triumphant right now. Only for me to see.
Only for you.
Only for
No,
me.
I think there was something on my leg and I was like, ah!
Triumph!
Triumph!
The door swings open. Aziraphale breaks into a small smile as he takes another look around the room. It is quite a significant change to see so much vibrant color in Crowley's usually grey flat. He meets the demon's eyes and, to his surprise, Crowley smiles back at him.
You have to leave this.
Okay, yeah,
No,
sure.
no. Okay, wait a moment. Well then.
The demon hums, gesturing towards the door.
After you, Angel.
Aziraphale gently places the thermos down on the ground and heads for the door. He walks through the doorway with easy confidence, and just when Crowley moves to follow him, the door closes right in front of his face.
No, why? I thought that this was like, oh yeah, they solved the problems, kind of. He forgave him for like, I don't know, all the times when like Aziraphale hurt him. And now the flat is completely filled with so much life and colors and everything. And it seemed like it's like a good ending.
Tja.
But what's happened now? Now they're separated again.
When Aziraphale makes his way to the other side, he's immediately filled with dread. He recognizes this place.
Oh, what is it?
He turns around to look at Crowley, but that's when he hears a thud. Of course, the door has closed after them every single time so far, but Crowley isn't there. Crowley isn't with him, and this is heaven. He's alone in heaven.
Why is heaven always like this place where you don't want to be? It's like the complete opposite of like, I don't know, what you normally would think of heaven.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This was my stomach. I have to edit this out.
You thought of heaven just like,
No.
nice.
Crowley, he says urgently, trying to swallow around the lump that has suddenly formed in his throat. Crowley, dear, where are you? He looks around, but all he can see is white walls, white doors, an endless corridor. Crowley is nowhere to be seen. Aziraphale is fairly certain that his hands are shaking. Aziraphale spins around, suddenly feeling so hopeless and overwhelmed. He hasn't been up there since before the Armageddon that did not happen. He tries to quell any arising feelings of anxiety by reminding himself that this isn't actually heaven, that this is just a projection of it, possibly a projection of how he has always seen heaven. It doesn't help much. The wide corridors bring too many horrible memories, too many feelings that he'd rather forget. He has to get out of there, and soon. But where to begin when on both of his sides the corridor stretches on and on with no end in sight? He takes a deep breath in and decides to start walking forward, no matter the direction. So far, the answer always seemed to find them on its own. Perhaps he should just trust this, whatever this is. So, we're walking forward. I love the sound effects.
They are really good.
He walks and walks. He feels tense all over, and he keeps glancing over his own shoulder as if he expects someone to jump out at him from one of the doors that surround him. He has tried to open some of them, but to no surprise, they all seem to be locked. So he walks. He walks, praying to whoever will listen that he can find a way out, and that Crowley is safe wherever he is. Should I say?
What kind of voice is it? High, deep?
I think it's deep.
Deep! Aziraphale! It is so good to see you after all this time.
Aziraphale freezes as he hears the familiar voice. Far too familiar, really. A voice that makes the hair on his skin stand up and a shiver make its way down his spine. Jim! He breathes out as he turns around.
Jim! It's you! Your voice has changed. Yes, it did. I became a new being. Okay, so Jim?
We are talking to Jim now.
Okay, let's talk to Jim. But still with a deep voice.
And there he is, the Archangel, Jim himself, in all of his angelic glory. He's smiling, his smile wide. It seems to stretch out more than a human body should allow.
I was really hoping you would pop in for a visit, Aziraphale.
Jim continues. His hands are folded in front of him and he approaches slow, measured steps. Aziraphale takes a step back.
Especially after what you and your hellish boyfriend did.
Aziraphale knows what he's talking about. He knows, and that terrifies him, the idea that Jim found out, that everyone found out what the two of them did to fool heaven and hell. He has to say something, but all the words seem foreign to him now. I don't know what you're talking about, Jim. Ah, yes, it is good to see you too, Jim. I was meaning to come here earlier, but, well, you know how it is. Stuff happens.
I would say the second one.
Second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, where are you?
Jim hums, still walking towards Aziraphale at an agonizingly slow pace. Aziraphale nods frantically in response, attempting a smile, which for sure comes off as more of a grimace.
That's funny, isn't it?
Jim continues.
Because I am fairly certain you ruined all of our plans, you idiot.
He sneers.
You were supposed to do just one thing, Aziraphale. One such simple thing. You were supposed to listen to your orders.
We're listening. As Jim walks forward, Aziraphale moves back, constantly trying to keep some distance between the two of them. He can't let Jim get close. He just can't.
I love how this Jim! Like you have like this tense moment. and the voice that I have is like very, how can you say, angry.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, Jim! I love this moment so much. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah.
But you couldn't even do that, could you? Right from the very beginning, you've been so flawed, so human.
He says the last word with disgust, and Aziraphale scrunches up his face at the sound of it.
And then you just had to go and fraternize with that demon.
At the mention of Crowley, Aziraphale feels another shiver make its way through his body.
Well, you know.
There's this human saying that we should keep our friends close, but enemies even closer. That is simply what I've been doing. There's nothing wrong about being human.
Like the first one would be that he sees Crowley as an enemy. But he's only saying it to Jim.
Yeah, and also I think the first one is more fitting because he's lying and Aziraphale is lying a lot in the series.
That's true, actually.
Yeah. And in the very first episode, at the no, it's not happening in the first episode, but later in the season, when Adam and Eve are cast out of paradise, he gives them his flaming sword.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out that he lies to God about it. Yeah. Where's your flaming sword, Aziraphale? He's like, I must have lost it. Does it? Oh, do we see the scene in the first episode of season 1? I watched it so often. Everything is melting together. But yeah, I like the first one. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm also for the first one.